Hello everyone, and welcome to my Monster Hunter World Beginner's Guide. Now, I know there are beginner's guides on YouTube. I personally haven't watched any of them, but you can watch them. They will cover the same information I will share in mine. In fact, they might even cover more. Since I don't know the content of their videos, then I don't know what they covered and what they didn't, but I'm going to go with the flow. So, when you create a new character, you will have this long loading screen, and then it will load you into a cutscene, like you're seeing here. After the cutscene, well, kind of during the cutscene, you get to create your character and your palico. I recommend making your character as best as you possibly can, because you can change your hair and your hair color and your makeup, but you cannot change any features for free, anyways. You can't change your palico at all after you create it, so make your palico the perfect palico that you want for the entire game. You do get one free character edit voucher. Anytime you want to edit your character after the free voucher, you will have to buy it. It's only a few bucks, it's not expensive, but it's probably best to save your money. But if you want to change your character, you have ways to do it. And then after you create your character, the cutscene will play out again. It will finish up. Then you're on Zora Magdaros' back. Now, it goes through the basic controls, how to move around, how to run. I recommend running with R1. I do not recommend clicking your stick in. I recommend R1. Or whatever that respective button is on whatever you're using. If you're on PC, then I can't help you. But if you're on Xbox, pretty sure it's RB. After you get off of Zora Magdaros' back, they drop you into the Ancient Forest. This Ancient Forest is a modified version of the real map that only has one path for you to go, but they teach you some mechanics. The first mechanic is the map. They teach you how to open the map and close the map and how to use it. Not properly, they don't really teach you how to properly use it, but you can go from there. So, your main goal right now is to follow the objectives in the top right corner. You can use your radar in the bottom left to keep track of the handler, since the scout flies don't really show you where to go to find her. But they do highlight her on the map, she has an icon. And then you just follow that path until you make it to Astera. It's very easy. Done deal. During Astera, you will be given a tour by the field team leader. After the tour, you will reach your palico who's at the canteen. Meet up with that. Then they give you your first mission. But before you go off on your first mission, you have to equip a weapon. They teach you how to use the item box, but not the full item box. They just teach you how to equip a weapon. So once you equip a weapon, which, by the way, you can equip any weapon you want, but if you are completely new to Monster Hunter and this type of game, then I recommend equipping the Sword and Shield, Dual Blades, Longsword, or the Hammer. They are, in my opinion, the easiest to learn, and they have a lot of mobility. So, before you actually go outside of your room, there is a cat in the room called the Housekeeper. You can talk to the Housekeeper to go to the training room where you can learn more about your weapon that you've selected. If you don't want to use any of the weapons I previously stated, then by all means, equip a different weapon. There's an item box in there. Have at it. Feel free to try out as many weapons as you want. In fact, I recommend you try out all the weapons just to get a feel for them and figure out which one you want to use. Once you're in the training room, and if you want to learn more about your weapons, you can watch guides on YouTube for that specific weapon type. Eric's Gaming has very good guides covering each of the weapon types, and I couldn't recommend them enough. After you've chosen your weapon, you have to accept your quest, which means going up to the canteen to talk to the handler. You can use a lift or take the stairs, it does not matter. You have to go to assigned and then accept the quest. It should be the only quest you have since it's the first one they give you. After you accept the quest, there are two ways to depart. You can go to any of the exits on Astera. There are I think 3, or you can press touchpad or whatever it is on Xbox and depart that way. I find that way to be much faster since I don't have to be near an exit to leave on the mission. So this mission is very, very easy to complete, and you should have no problems with it at all. Be sure to remember that while you're out on these missions, you are also supposed to be gathering materials to upgrade your weapons and armor. So, any monsters you kill, be sure to carve. Any bone piles, mining outcrops, plants, and anything you see out in the wild, if you can pick it up, go for it. Everything in this game has a use, and while it's still in the early game, it's very important to farm up materials, because as it is right now, you shouldn't have any mega potions unless you picked up honey during this mission, and then you will have mega potions. Honey is very important because it's the only way to get mega potions. So there are ways to get honey that you don't have to go out and just pick it up in the wild. We'll get to that. But after you complete the mission, you'll get a 60-second countdown timer. After that timer, you will be returned to Astera, where they will give you your next mission. First, you gotta go speak to the Smithy. The Smithy will tell you how to do basic things, mainly upgrading your weapons and armor. To upgrade your armor, you need armor spheres. To upgrade your weapons, you will need respective materials for that weapon. Different weapon upgrades require different materials, so you won't always need 2 iron to upgrade, let's say, a sword and shield. That means that as you are upgrading your weapon, it will get harder and harder to upgrade that weapon to the max rank. Now, in the way it will get harder, it will require more rare materials that you can't find by just being in low rank. Certain materials are from certain areas or from certain monsters that you have to hunt or find on the map. And that will change according to what the weapon is and what tree it's a part of. Since the Smithy is a very important part of the gameplay loop, I will make a separate video covering everything there is to know about the Smithy. And now, moving on. Once you go visit the Smithy and you've learned how to upgrade your equipment, you then move on to the Canteen, where I will teach you what the Canteen is all about. The Canteen is one of the most important parts of this game. Before every hunt, you will have the choice of eating a specific meal or making one of your own. So, each meal has a different buff associated with it. The meat is attack buffs, the fish is defense buffs, and the veggies is elemental resistance buffs. And depending on how many ingredients you put into that dish, the stronger the buff is. But as you are in the early game, you only have access to 2 ingredients, so every buff will be a small buff. Now, moving on, you should be talking to the handler and accepting your next quest. A Kestodon kerfuffle. Here they teach you about lucky vouchers. Lucky vouchers are given to you by the login bonus, and you only get 1 per day. So it is best to save them until you reach the end game where you can actually use them to their full extent. But if you want to use them now, by all means do it. You get 1 a day, and you can hold 5. So once you reach that limit of 5, I recommend using at least 1 or 2, just so you can pick up the next one for the next day. So, for this mission, you're going to be hunting some Kestodon. It's not hard, but I do recommend having at least a weapon with green sharpness, since Kestodons have armor on their heads, which makes weapons that don't have green sharpness bounce. Alright, so as you can see here, I'm using the longsword, and I just went through my green sharpness. So, what that means is any normal attacks I do on the male Kestodon's heads will bounce. But the longsword has a spirit combo that is immune to bouncing. It has the skill effect of Mind's Eye. And what Mind's Eye does is it makes no matter what you attack with whatever weapon, with what that sharpness of the weapon is, you will not bounce off of the monster. Any weapon can use it. It is a skill in the game that you can have on an armor piece, but I think it's locked to a set bonus and a jewel.
Good work.
After the Kestodons are all dead, you are given a new mission. During the same mission that you just killed the Kestodon, to hunt a Great Jagras. You do not have to hunt the Great Jagras now. You can actually return to Astera and then accept the mission via the normal way, talking to the handler or going up to a quest board. Does not matter. Whichever way you want to do it, it's fine. They both have the same outcome. The Great Jagras is the first large monster you will hunt in this game, and it is laughably easy. If you have any trouble, then I suggest you pick up your controller, because you're obviously not playing the game at all. And be sure to, if you're on like really, really low health, walk away from it and heal. You don't even have to run. You can just walk away. So, after you kill the Great Jagras, be sure to carve it. As with everything you kill in this game, carve everything you need in the materials. Eventually you'll get to a point where you don't need the materials and you can sell them, but for right now, carve it. And this guide has been running for about 10 minutes, 11 minutes now, so I'm going to end it here, and I will have part 2, part 3, depending on how long it takes me to get through the story. It will just be a few minutes talking about each quest, each monster, what specific tips I can give you for them. And I will have separate videos covering the Smithy, the bounty system, the farm, especially the farm, that's important. And there are videos going in depth on the Canteen, so I won't be covering it. There's probably a ton of videos for every part of this game. All you have to do is look around on YouTube. Alright, so if you are a newer player and you have any questions about certain things that I didn't get to cover in this part 1, then feel free to leave those questions in the comments down below. I will do my best to answer as many questions as possible and make those answers as easy to understand as I possibly can get. But that'll be the end of part 1 of my Monster Hunter World Beginner's Guide. So, if you've enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and consider subscribing to my channel, where I post gaming videos like this almost every day. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye-bye.